I have a lot of books here. If you cannot tell, I haven't really gotten a lot of books from like November to the end of January. I just was going through one, my physical TBR, and two, just reading a lot of books on my Kindle. So everything just kind of happened in February. You know, Amazon was having a buy one get one 50 off, not buy one get one free, buy one get one 50 off sale. I had my birthday. I have also ordered books from Blackwell's, which is a UK bookstore site, and Pango, which is used books for resale. So as you see, this is my massive stack of books that I have gotten in like the last 2 weeks. And I thought it would be a good time to go through some of the new books I have added to my physical TBR. So, starting off, I'll just do all of these together. I have the Prison Healer series. I think these are not in the right order. Now they're in the right order. I have Prison Healer, Gilded Cage, and Blood Trader. These are by Lynette Noni. I don't know if I said that right. What I know about these books is that the main character is a prison healer in some crazy prison, and somebody comes in and she has to like protect said person, and she like volunteers as tribute, very Hunger Games, to take their place in some trial of some sort. So it's giving Hunger Games, but basically I felt like it had been a little while since I was in a really fun fantasy world with characters I really liked. So I'm really hoping this will give me what I need. But again, I got this. These were part of the buy one get one 50, so it was just like the perfect opportunity to finally start that series. I'm very hopeful. Next I have Archer's Voice. This is like one of the TikTok books, one of the TikTok romance books. And it has been for quite a long time. I feel like everybody's read this. I've heard a lot about it, and I had never really been compelled to read it, but in the last few months I have gotten more into romance. And the problem with romance books for me is that I kind of like fly through them. Like they're really quick and easy. They're good filler. So getting them on sale with the Amazon buy one get one 50 is like, it's like the perfect time for me to get romances. So I did. And this, to my knowledge, is not a rom-com-y book. It's more of like a serious, maybe even like a little sad. I don't know. It's giving more Boys of Tommen than it's giving like Love Theoretically. I don't know. But to my knowledge, Archer, the main male character, does not talk. He does not speak. And this new girl comes to town and she's like the only person he communicates with. It's supposed to be a sweet story. So I'm intrigued. Next I have the Bromance Book Club. I'm kind of pumped for this one. I've heard good things about this. I know Destiny Sidwell really likes this book, and this book is about this couple. It's like a second chance romance. The wife wants to get a divorce after some big argument they've had, and the male main character, who is like an athlete, his like buddies get together and they're like, we're gonna help you. Welcome to the Bromance Book Clubs. And basically what they do is they read romance novels to help understand like the women in their life, like what they want, what they might need, like how to understand like the way in which women communicate best, stuff like that, I guess. So he's gonna use a romance book to get his wife back. So this sounds like a kind of silly, fun book, and it's like another perfect palate cleanser, I'm hoping. Next, these bad boys go together. I got Fable and Namesake. This is by Adrienne Young. Oh, I remember why I really wanted to get these. I audiobooked The Unmaking of June Farrow. Loved it. So confused by the end. I was Googling what the ending meant. not what it meant, but like there were things I didn't understand. But I really enjoyed that book. I loved like the characters and the world she created. So I wanted to read this. This is different though. This is a YA series of her and pirates. That's like kind of what I know. No, I'm kidding. I know more from actually reading the back. It's about this female main character and her mom drowned, her dad's a pirate, her dad left her on like some island and he's off doing his own thing, and she wants to like get off the island and prove to her dad that like he should be on the ship with her. Okay, but I've heard good things about them, plus they're pretty and they're finally in paperback and they have sprayed edges, so I was sold. Next I have Today, Tonight, and Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and last month I read The Do-Over by Lynn Painter, and I loved The Do-Over. I did not read it last year because I thought I would dislike The Do-Over because it's like a Groundhog's Day story, but I loved it, and it made me really sad that I don't have any more YA Lynn Painter books to read, so I was Googling and I found a Reddit page for books similar to like YA Lynn Painter books, and this was like the most common recommended one. It's about two seniors in high school who have been like academic rivals. One of them is named valedictorian, and on like their last day before graduation, one of their like senior things is a scavenger hunt throughout the city, and they end up teaming up and realizing maybe they shouldn't have been rivals. So this is again perfect, you know, palate cleanser. I'm quite excited to read this, to be honest. Next I have another exciting one. I don't think you can see this, but this is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I could not bring myself to get the US paperback version of it because the US paperback version is like as big as a hardcover book, and what is the point of that? I can't stand it. Plus this one, she's so pretty. Look at how cute she is. This is one of the books I got from Blackwell, so this is like the UK version of it. UK books are like so stubby though. It's so strange, like, I don't know, she's just kind of stubby. To my knowledge, and I know very little about this book despite it being also kind of like a popular TikTok book, it's just like talked about a lot, I feel like. All I know about this is Addie LaRue is never aging. She's lived for, I think the back says like 300 years. Yeah, after 300 years. And the caveat to that is that whenever somebody like finishes talking to her, whenever she's not in someone's line of sight, they forget all about her until one day someone remembers her. And yeah, I think this is supposed to be a kind of like thoughtful book, which is good because a lot of the books that I read, I feel like are a little fluffier than they are thoughtful, so plus fantasy. But yeah, this is very much reminding me of the movie, oh my god, what was the movie called with Blake Lively? Oh, Aging Adeline, something like that, which I never saw that either. So this is kind of high on my priority. I think it'll be a good spring book. Next, I'll do some of my hardcovers. I got A Fragile Enchantment. My lovely boyfriend took me to a really cute local bookstore in the town over, and he got me A Fragile Enchantment. I had heard a little bit about this book, and I have actually read this since getting it. It was okay. This book takes place, think of Bridgerton. Really think of Bridgerton and add slight magic, and that's this book. This is a very like politics heavy book, which I like. I do not mind political fantasy, but this is a political fantasy. There is like slight romance and stuff, but at its core, this is a political book in my opinion. And it kind of has like a lot of things. There's like Bridgerton elements based on like the time period and the fact that there is someone anonymously like writing in the paper about things, but the main female character goes to like the city in this kingdom, and this kingdom is taken over like her territory, so there's kind of some bad vibes, but she goes there as a dressmaker to make garments for a royal wedding that's happening. And her magic is that she just creates these really beautiful items of clothing. She can like weave magic into them, and it makes people like feel things, and I don't know how to describe it. Like she makes something and it makes people like gloss over the person who's wearing it. Like they can kind of be invisible. I don't know. It was interesting. Not my favorite book, but I'm glad I read it, and the cover is so cute. Another book I have, this is one I got from Pango, and it is called First Lie Wins. And this book, so this is by Ashley Elston. I don't know if I said that right. And I didn't really look at like the author's name or anything, but when it arrived and I was looking at the cover, I was like, this name is familiar. Did she ever write YA mystery books? Because a while ago, Jennifer Lynn Barnes wrote like this article for the New York Times with like YA like mystery thriller book recommendations. And one of them, I read a few of them, but one of them was called like This Is Our Story or Our Story. I can't quite remember. And I have it on my Kindle, but I haven't read it yet. And it was written by Ashley something. And yes, it is in fact the same author. So I have high hopes. Jennifer Lynn Barnes recommended one of her books, so I'm sure I'll like this too. This book reminds me of the Mindfuck series. So that should be interesting. But the main character is like she gets contracted to do some sort of job, and she moves to the city under this fake alias, and she has like her mark, but then it seems like maybe she gets attached to her mark, and it says she starts like envisioning like a certain type of future that she never envisioned before, until somebody new comes to town and they are using our main character's real identity. So it sounds fun, and I'm trying to get more into thrillers because last month I read The Last Word, and I really liked that book, and it's making me think maybe I can do more thrillers. So this is next on my list. I probably want to read this book next out of all of them. Next, randomly, I have Mysteries at Thorn Manor. This was an Amazon grab for me, and this is like a novella that comes after Sorcery of Thorns. It is by Margaret Rogerson, yes. And I enjoyed A Sorcery of Thorns. I thought like the world and the magic was really interesting. And the ending, it wasn't like a shock, like the very end I'm talking about. It was not like shocking, but I was reading the ending and I was shocked that when I flipped the page it said acknowledgement. So I am definitely glad there's a little bit more. I think this little novella is just supposed to be kind of like a little happier for now story with the main characters from the original book, obviously, and there's something wrong with the magic in the house and a fun little fantasy mystery. Okay, we're getting down to the last few. Another big old TikTok book. This is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, if you're unfamiliar. And I have read, I think, more than half of Ali Hazelwood's books now. I've read Love Theoretically, Check and Mate, and Bride, which is her newest like paranormal romance release. Very interesting. And I really, really liked Love Theoretically, and I adored Check and Mate. So I thought I would try her backlog a little bit. Backlog. This came out like 2 years ago. But in my mind, from what I've heard about these books, it seems like there's a difference between this book and Love on the Brain and like Love Theoretically and Check and Mate, just from how I've heard people describe the books. So I don't have crazy high expectations. I do not expect to like this as much as I liked the other books I talked about, but I am interested to give it a try, and Amazon's buy one get one 50 is the perfect time to try it out. So we'll see. Now I have Maybe Meant to Be by K.L. Walther. I have read her other 2 books. I read What Happens After Midnight first, and I liked that book. It was cute YA romance book. And then I read The Summer of Broken Rules. and it was okay. I didn't love that one as much, but to be fair, I read it after Crescent City 3, so it was kind of doomed from the start. But I am interested to, I think this is actually like her first book she released, but they gave it like a makeover, a slightly new title. So I'm interested, you know. It is giving more of a fall vibe, but from my understanding, it's like there's this couple, I don't know if they're actually together or if people just want them to be together, but they really like other people. And I think this takes place in high school. I don't think it's college yet, but no, it is high school. So we'll see. It seems like a messy book. To be honest, her books are a little messy, which is fine. I like it. Entertainment. And the last book I have You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogel. I don't know if I said that right. And this book is about a engaged couple who don't want to be engaged anymore. But the reason they're not like leaving each other is because whoever calls off the wedding has to foot the bill for all of the everything for the wedding that's already been scheduled and prepaid that they can't get their money back for. So instead of just leaving each other, they try to like out annoy each other and try to get the other person to call off the engagement first. And through all this hijinks, they maybe find their way back to each other. I don't remember who I saw talk about this book, but this seems like a silly book that will have me hopefully laughing and be another good palate cleanser. So I have a good amount of books here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 books. I also have 2 that aren't here yet. One of them is also from Blackwell's, so the UK site, and it is the special edition, collector's edition of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I cannot wait to get here because I want to reread that book. I read it towards the end of 2022, but I kind of want to reread it. Plus, the show is going to be coming out soon, and I had a copy of this book, and I, loaned it out, and it has been close to a year, so I don't believe I'm getting it back, and I believe they just came out with this new edition, so it seemed like the perfect timing, so that should be arriving, honestly, probably in 2 weeks, because it is not quick shipping from the UK, but I can't complain, because it was free shipping. And the other book I have coming in is from Pango, which is the used book site, and it is called The Tainted Cup. For the life of me, can't remember the author's name. I have another one of his books that I'm trying to get through right now. It's a little rough though. It's called Founderside. It's the book series of his that I'm starting right now. And this is a separate series, The Tainted Cup. And it is all I know about this book, and it was immediately sold, is it is a fantasy world, but it's a mystery. And it is described as a like Sherlock Holmes, Dr. John Watson mystery, and I was sold. I love that. And since reading about this book, which it just came out like a few weeks ago, it came out in February, it's like a brand new book, so it's kind of crazy that I already found it like on a used site, secondhand site. Since reading the back of that book, I was inspired to rewatch Sherlock, which is just so good, and I just really wanted to arrive. So anyways, those are all the books I ordered. There's, a good stack of them. Can't quite really see. But let me know if you've read any of these, what I should start with first. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of feeling the thriller, but let me know what you recommend. If you've read any of these, hopefully you only have good things to say about them because I just bought them. But yeah, let me know, and thanks for watching.